This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
And the pitch is swung on, hit the right field, hit deep. Whitefield going back at the track, over his head, and over the wall. Do you believe that?
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Ramirez with a drive to deep right, away back, goal!
Go Hayes! Gets a bomb out there by the Rocks. And boy, oh boy, this third inning is now showtime.
It is a Judgian blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to spin rates to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to A's Cast Live from the Treehouse. Our first time in the Treehouse this season. Of course, come up and see us. Happy hour. Two of the greatest words in America, in American history. Happy hour. We got deals. I mean, all kinds of deals. Come up and see us here in the Treehouse. We got a special edition for you. A lot of people coming on the show today. Our A's historian has just popped into my right, the great David Feldman we call him from NBC Sports, Pac-12 Network. Where else? ESPN. I mean, he's our A's historian as we are celebrating the 1973 Oakland Athletics, who took down the New York Mets, who were in town for 3, which was a long time ago, 50 years ago.
That's a long time.
Where were you in 1973?
That was 15 and a half years prior to when I was being born.
I was 1 year old. I'll never forget it. I remember I was 1 year old. I was watching the television, and I was watching it, and I said to my father at 1 year old, how the hell is Willie Mays still in the lineup at 42 or 43 years old? I'll never forget that when I was 1 year old. How is this team, a 500 team, in the World Series? Dad, how is Yogi Berra managing this team? I remember that at age 1.
Old Man Willie, as they called him back then, who was on that team. Rusty Staub was on that team.
Old Man Willie would be a great cornerback for the Raiders, but yes, I guess you could say that also. Old Man Willie.
Wasn't Willie
Great Willie Brown.
Wasn't Willie on deck
I did
circle?
a few shows with, by the way, the great Willie Brown.
Wasn't Willie on the on deck circle when Ray tagged out Bud Harrelson?
That's
why
I
know my history.
That's why we have our A's historian. Once again, at 1 year old, I was not keeping score for the 1973 World Series. I was not a big Rusty Staub fan.
Howie Rose is here, the voice of the Mets, and he still to this day thinks that
argued
Bud
with Ray Fosse. Argued with Tug McGraw was on that team. Yeah, I'm more of a Tug McGraw. I remember Tug McGraw as a Philly. We don't really remember Tug McGraw much as a Met.
They had some pitcher that was pretty good that year too. I don't remember his name. Tom something
from Fresno.
Yeah, Tom something.
The USC Trojan. So we'll talk about that with David Feldman coming up here at 4:10. The general manager, David Forst, will be here at 4:30. We have a TBD, to be
determined
A's
player.
We have an A's player that's going to show up.
Yeah, we'll see who it is.
I'm hoping, and he's very, very good. I'm hoping we're getting Brownie today, Seth Brown.
Yeah, I mean, he's got time.
Great interview, and you know what? We normally wouldn't get him if he wasn't hurt.
Yeah,
sure. We'd get him on the field, but we'd never get him up here.
Yeah, no. And we're going to shoot for Brent Rooker next week with the hot start he's had.
Brent Rooker, last 3 games, hitting 500, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Doing pretty good, a little start for him. And remember, he got off to a bad start, but everything he hit was hard.
Yeah.
So he may be the one guy where the expected batting average.
So we're going reverse Pache.
Yeah. Expecting batting average actually end up playing out as Brent Rooker has been red hot. And then Mark Kotsay will be here at 5 o'clock. We taped that early this morning. Yeah. Well, and when I mean early, I mean early.
9:15.
Whew. Got out of bed, put on some A's gear, and let's get ready to rock. I didn't have the Link Soul. Remember, check out our clothing sponsor, Link Soul. Go to linksoul.com. I mean, look, you can get the sweater, you can get the shirt, perfect for going out to dinner, happy hour like this, for a ball game, of course, playing golf, going to the beach. They've got everything you need, whether you're talking polos, sweatshirts, hoodies, pants, shorts, T-shirts, the real casual wear for the beach wear. Awesome. Go to linksoul.com. So we'll have Mark Kotsay at 5 o'clock. Mark Canha, one of our all-time favorites. Yes, former A Mark Canha is here with the New York Mets, and we had Mark Canha on from the field just probably about an hour ago, as we'll talk to him about his time here with the Athletics, a new cooking book that's going to be coming out.
Well, he said it's not a book.
It's
Whatever
some type of writing.
Yeah.
It'll be in some. It's going to be a book.
Yeah.
What else would it be?
It's a book about food.
Would he put out a pamphlet?
Yeah, he said it's not a cookbook. I heard him tell you that whenever.
But we will have him on to sell it when he's ready to go. But yeah, our old friend Mark Canha, it's great to see him doing well and to go to New York, and we'll talk about the expectations. 2 years in a row. There's big expectations. They're game over 500. Obviously, it's early, as you like to say. But there's huge expectations for the New York Mets as they have the highest payroll in baseball. And a lot of people are expecting them, not the Phillies, not the Braves. People want to think it's going to be the Mets.
Phillies panic.
That's a really tough division.
Phillies are panicking so much that Bryce Harper wants to play first base. That's how bad it is in Philly right now.
Well, as they said in Moneyball, it's easy to play first base.
Tell Wash it's incredibly hard. Although Hembo disagrees and said it's easy to play first base.
Okay, you tell Hembo. I want to tell you something about middle infielders. Middle infielders are the most arrogant defenders there are in baseball because they're very gifted. It is very hard. You have to be in the non-shifting world. And when you grow up, why do all the best athletes, when you grow up, play shortstop? You ask any of these guys playing in the big leagues, where did you play in Little League? Shortstop. Where did you play in Pony? Shortstop. They would pitch and play shortstop. That's what they did. The best athletes in baseball, when you're young, all play shortstop. So when you're a middle infielder, as our friend Paul Hembekides from ESPN, he was a lower-level college middle infielder.
D3, I think, was what it was.
Yeah,
I'll throw him under the bus. He's not here.
Middle infielders, it's incredibly hard to play the middle infield. It is. You got to be gifted. Got to have great feet. Got to have rhythm and timing. So they think everything else is easy. They look over you at first base like, oh, you put your foot on the bag and catch it. How tough can it be? I'm diving around. I'm going up the middle. I'm going backhand with my glove. I got to do all this at shortstop, and all you got to do is on first base and go. No, it's incredibly hard to play first base. The footwork, you can't stretch too early. A lot of people don't get, when you play first base, if you stretch too early and the ball is not right at you, whenever you're an infielder, you are taught to always expect a bad throw, especially like on the double play, actually playing up the middle. But as a first baseman, that's what made a guy like Matt Olson so special. And that's why you like seeing Ryan Noda there. You want a big target, a guy with long arms, a wingspan, right? But if you stretch too early and I throw it way to the left or way to the right, you can't get to it. That's why you have to be able to not stretch too early. So when the ball you see that's going far right, you can step with your left and then go far right and get it. But if you stretch too early, you got no shot. So it's actually, and then as we saw, 2 games ago with the Diaz bunt for a base hit and that Bermuda triangle between the pitcher, the first baseman, the second baseman, that's what we call PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. You've got to be able to work that area on the short game. And you got to be able to, as a good first baseman, can make the throws for a double, play at second, or get the guy going to third. Yeah. First base is, if you think that's just something, put a glove on the guy and go, and that's any position in baseball. But if you think first base here, just put a glove there, like when they said Johnny Bench, just go to third. Had that work out, A's historian? Not so good.
Well,
so,
it's like with the Red Sox wanted to make, remember when they wanted to make Schwarber a first baseman, and he was below average, to be polite about it. But
the only thing you can put Schwarber at is either selling hot dogs in the stands or hitting home runs. Other than that, I don't know what good he is for you.
Well, they have a couple guys like that on the Phillies. Castellanos is another one.
But if you can roll the pole, as they say, you got value. But yeah, just saying that you're going to put a guy at first base. It's like last year with the A's. Like, I don't want to mention it, but Jordan Diaz never played second base ever in his career. Ever. And we just put him out there at second base. Now, when you're losing 102 games and you use 64 players, stuff like that can happen. But, yeah, just putting some guy out there at first place, not that easy. All right, so we got David Forst at 4:30. We have a player going to be here sometime. Mark Kotsay at 5, Mark Canha at 5:30. Are we ready to go? Are we ready to rock?
Scott?
That's right.
It's not that hard, Scott. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
It's incredibly hard. The great David Feldman, our A's historian, ESPN, Pac-12 Network, and most importantly for NBC Sports, and an official score in Major League Baseball. Remember, we did those classes on how to teach you how to keep score. Are we going to be doing that again this year?
There was some talk about it. I'm not sure where it stands at the moment.
Because I got to tell you, very helpful. And lately, the other day, there was a lot of plays in the Baltimore series. What was the play? Rooker drops it. They gave it a sac fly. They called it an out. Sac fly out on the computer. I'm like, he's not out.
He's not out. It's a sacrifice fly because the batter did his job. He got the ball deep enough in the outfield to score the run. So he gets credit for the sacrifice fly. But it's an E9 that allowed him to reach first base.
Okay, so I was like, do I put fielder's choice and the E9 as the runner scoring?
No, the E9 was the batter reaching first base.
Okay, see, I did it wrong.
You did it wrong. The scoring gods are going to come down on you now.
My scoring's not. I'm going to be honest with you. I need your class. I'm not very good at it. I just do it my own way. I do it from a standpoint of when someone calls me after the game or if I have to run over highlights, I know how to talk my way through it.
And that's the whole point. And we've talked about this before too. The way you keep score is the way that makes the most sense to you. So you can go back and look at the game you scored and know what happened. It doesn't have to be correct as far as, Major League Baseball or this or that. It's what works for you. So you can look back and go, hey, in that inning, Rooker dropped a fly ball, run scored. That was bad. He's got to catch that ball. Whether it's a sacrifice fly field, it doesn't matter. The point was that he dropped a fly ball, allowing a batter reach base.
So if you're like me, we don't have to worry about it. Our scorebook is not going to the Baseball Hall of Fame. We're not going to get the sticker, authentic sticker that they put it. So we're going to be okay. All right, 1973. The A's, they have moved west. The young players have grown up. They upset the Big Red Machine in 1972. They're back at it against a team that really, that not an impressive 1973 New York Mets team.
No, it was a bad National League East. It was a Mets team that had to go 9-2 over the last 11 games to overcome a 4.5 game deficit to get to 82 wins. And that's all
82 wins.
82 and 79. They didn't have to play their last makeup game. But 73 is kind of the middle child of the 3 A's championships.
It's not as loved.
Not as loved as that first one. This, sweet
no
it
offense
is.
to all the middle children out there.
And then the last one, which is probably the best of the 3 teams. But 73 was different in its own right because you're the defending champions. For the first time, you're the defending champions. So everybody's gunning for you. But even before the season starts, the A's make some changes. And the biggest change was trading for Billy North. Right? The A's had gotten rid of George Hendrick for Ray Fosse. They needed a center fielder. So they go out and they get Billy North from the Cubs. And Billy North was the type of guy that this club needed. He said, what are the defending champions? What do they need? They needed somebody grit, take no prisoners, kind of a son of the bitch on the field. I mean,
hard nose, baby.
They needed that. And then they were going to pair him up with Bert Campaneris, 2 speedsters. Right? This is when the stolen base, as we're seeing now, come back into the game. This was prevalent in the 70s. Stolen bases were still a big thing. Now you put 2 of the top steal threats back-to-back in your lineup. And that was a big part of this team is how do you hit them? Do you hit North first or do you hit Campaneris first? Which way do you go? They experimented with it. They had at one point, they had Campaneris 1 and North 9. And then they end up going Campaneris 1, North 2. It's okay. The A's are struggling midway through the season. They're a 500 team. And they're battling with the Kansas City Royals for the AL West. And it really wasn't until mid-August when they caught fire. And that's when they moved North to the 1 spot, Campaneris to the 2 spot, and they took off. And they won 12 out of 13. One of the games was at Yankee Stadium. I was there. Little 5-year-old Davey was in the stands at old Yankee Stadium. It was the first time I saw the A's win in person. They were trailing by 6 runs in the 7th inning, came back, won the game. First time I ever saw them win in person.
What were you doing in New York? I mean, were you nightlife in Manhattan? Were you on Broadway? What were you doing there at 5 years old?
Yeah, 5-year-old David was having a hell of a time because I almost got lost on the subway, according to my parents. That the subway doors opened and everybody came in and out, and my mom had no idea where I was. And all of a sudden she looks over, and I just took a seat. I had a good seat.
Next thing you know, you could have grown up in Queens. Who would have known? Where did you go?
But yeah, it was a family. My grandparents at the time lived in Philadelphia, so we'd gone to Philadelphia to see them. The A's are in New York. Let's take a day trip to New York on a Sunday to see the A's play. It was unbelievable. And that was part of this streak of winning 12 out of 13. And it really propelled the A's and reminded the A's of what they really were. They're the world champs, the defending world champions. Tough year. Dick Williams and Charlie Finley did not get along.
This is it, by the way. This is Dick Williams is done.
He's done. He's
had it.
Handle it. And you look at the way guys were coming and going on this team, right? Here's Champ Summers 1 week, and now he's gone. Now we're going to trade for Vic Davalillo. We're going to trade for Pat Bork. We're just moving guys in and out. But what remained the same was the core, right? Ray behind the plate, Gene Tennis at first, Dick Green at second, Campy at short, Bando at third, Rudy in left. This is center field, Billy North, and Reggie in right. And your guy, Darren Johnson, as the DH. Guy who doesn't get a lot of pub in A's history, Darren Johnson had a fabulous 73 season.
He's gotten a lot of love on A's Cast Live when we had him on.
This guy drove in 80 runs as really the A's first full-time DH.
And Reggie is healthy.
Reggie was healthy. He was the MVP. Who wasn't healthy? Joe Rudy. Joe Rudy only played 120 games that year. And coming down the stretch, he wasn't on the field a lot. So the A's were mixing and matching. How does this pay off? Billy North sprains his ankle with about 2 weeks to go in the season. Billy North is out for the postseason. But the A's have now had some practice mixing and matching outfielders. And this helped come the postseason where all of a sudden when they face a left-hander, Reggie's playing center field, Jesus Alou's in right. When they face a right-hander, Vic Davalillo's in center, Reggie's in right. Angel Manguel was in there a little bit as well. But they got used to moving and mixing and matching their outfielders. So you hate to say that an injury helped the team, but having Rudy out and North out, they got used to having to make those adjustments with the outfield.
It's so – whenever I hear Reggie Jackson in center field, we forget Reggie was a terrific football player, Arizona State, great athlete. But for someone like myself, Reggie was the DH, maybe right field, older guy. You never think of Reggie as the great athlete. Reggie was a great athlete.
Unbelievable athlete. And when you watch him run, especially in that 73 and the first part of 74 before he blew out his hamstring, he was as fast as any player in the game. And his skill in the outfield, it translated from right to center. You watch the World Series highlight film, he's making this unbelievable diving catch in center field, coming up with it, big old smile on his face because that's Reggie, loves the bright lights. Tremendous athlete who could adjust to really playing any position.
And isn't this the start of Mr. October?
This is it. This is 73. He becomes the MVP of the World Series, not just the league, but he's the World Series MVP. And you go back and look at the postseason. The A's had to play the Orioles in the LCS, 5-game series at the time. Bert Campaneris has an unbelievable LCS. In Game 2, he leads off the game with a home run. In Game 3, he hits a walk-off home run. Back-to-back game, one leadoff, one walk-off. Never been done. The walk-off happens in the 11th inning of a game that Ken Holtzman pitches all 11 innings. I mean,
what? I can't even get a guy to go 5.
It's hard to get a guy. He's going 11. So the A's are up 2-1 in the series.
You mean it wasn't 5 and dive?
It was not 5 and dive for Kenny Holtzman. It was 11 innings done in about 2.5 hours.
He, by the way, I don't remember what year it was. Remember when I think we had them all on this. We're in Mount Davis, basically, in the East Side Club that we changed this bar into the Treehouse. I think it was way back. I don't remember what the celebration. One time I got Ken Holtzman. One time. Phenomenal.
Awesome. Phenomenal.
Like this is a guy you could sit and just talk. I mean, he is just like an encyclopedia. He's entertaining. He's engaging. I wish, and you think of all the big game pitchers of that era, he never gets talked about. No. He should be talked about. Just go to Baseball Reference and look what he did in the postseason. If there was like a former A I wish was around a lot more, he'd definitely be up there.
Great storyteller. And yeah, he was the Game 1 starter in all 3 World Series. Right.
That's
and part
amazing.
Of this, it happened to do with, the LCS going 5. Because in Game 4, the A's are up 4-0. Vida's cruising. Gets to the 7th inning. Gets in a little trouble. A couple men on base. Runs already in. He's got Andy Etchebarren up, a light-hitting catcher. And Ray catching. Fastball. You're just going to blow him away with a fastball. And Vida Blue shakes him off.
Don't shake off Ray Fosse.
For a curveball that Andy Etchebarren hits, 30 rows back in the bleachers. Ray, till he passed on, never forgave Vida for shaking him off. Never. I mean, he would bring it up constantly. And then Raleigh came in. Bobby Grich hit a home run off of him. And the A's have to go to a game 5. Luckily, you have Jim Catfish Hunter for game 5, and he throws a 5-hit shutout, and things are looking pretty good. But that led you into the World Series where Ken Holtzman now is pitching game 1. You had to deal with Jim Palmer in the ALCS. World Series, as you guys just mentioned, Tom Seaver.
Heard of him.
But luckily, Reds had the same issue. They went 5 games in the LCS against the Mets went against the Reds in 5 games.
You got Kuzman.
Now you have John Matlack and Jerry Kuzman, 2 left-handers, which actually kind of fell into the A's favor. The A's are up 2-1 when they go back to New York, but they lose games 4 and 5, so they're coming back to Oakland. Charlie Finley gets involved again. You're down 3-2, coming back to Oakland. You haven't hit a home run yet. The A's had not hit a home run in the series. And Charlie says, you know what we're doing? We're taking Ray. We're putting him on the bench. We're taking Gene Tennis from first. He's going to catch. And your man, Darren Johnson's going to play first base. He's going to change the lineup up. And it works. I mean, to Dick Williams' chagrin, it works. Right? They win game 6. Game 7, they finally hit home runs. Campy hits a 2-run homer. Reggie hits a 2-run homer. The A's win the game. Did the lineup change have something to do with it? Charlie Finley will tell you it did.
Wasn't this series where they brought Charlie the Mule on the trip?
This was the Mike Andrews series in game 2. Mike Andrews makes 2 errors in extra innings.
They try to get rid of him.
They're trying to get him off the roster so they can get Manny Trio onto the roster. And the A's are going to strike. They're not going to play unless Mike Andrews is reinstated to the team, because Finley had some doctor forged a note saying Mike Andrews wasn't physically able to play. So the A's are actually at practice. They're wearing Mike Andrews 17 on an armband. And they said, we're not going to play. So it turns out Charlie relents. He's going to play. Mike Andrews pinch hits in New York and gets a standing ovation from the Shea Stadium crowd. A standing ovation for Mike Andrews. And even Charlie, because he had nothing else to do at that point, stands up and starts cheering.
How did they get the Mule to New York?
Probably the Mule was treated a lot better than the players if you listen to the players.
I mean, it's just, you can't make this stuff up in A's history. Ray Fosse, we always got to bring up our beloved Ray Fosse, would always tell us when he showed up to spring training, it was Dick Green who told him, we'll win the World Series. And here's Ray coming from Cleveland, that the only time Cleveland was ever in it was game 1 of the season. And after that, they would stink every year, and they knew they were going to stink. So Ray was like, wow, these guys really have the bravado that and this was just year 2. This is not even year 3. It went in the 3 straight.
Yeah, it was just that confidence. And it was that all the main guys coming up together, learning how to play, winning all those games in 71, even though they lost in the playoffs to Baltimore, but going through it in 72, winning the series in 7 games. I don't think they had any doubt they were the best team. You had 3 20-game winners in your starting rotation, and Hunter, Holtzman, and Blue, right? Your 4 starter, sometimes it was Blue Mumodum. Dave Hamilton took some turns. Raleigh Fingers even took 2 turns as a starter. But because you had those 3 guys who could go every 4th day, 3 20-game winners, and then a bullpen with Darryl Knowles and Raleigh Fingers that could just crush teams late in games, because Raleigh's pitching 2-3 innings at a time.
Well, and the Mets are one of those teams, kind of like the Phillies last year, like what we've seen over the years with different wild card teams. Get in, get hot, and you got a chance.
That was it. You got hot. You mentioned Rusty Staub. Rusty Staub got hurt. Right? He hurt his shoulder, so he couldn't throw.
When I was 1 year old, that really affected. I knew that was going to be a problem.
But I mean, he was the type of guy.
How was Willie Mays? Well, how old was Willie Mays?
Willie was what, 42 or 43 at that point?
And I just know this because during COVID, we started going over this stuff, and we had those great shows with Ray Fosse, Ken Korak, and myself. And I remember going to the lineup, going, "How was Willie Mays hitting 3rd?"
Yeah,
game 1, he was hitting 3rd.
Watching that game again, there's one play that just sticks out to me. Is Willie takes like a full swing on a check swing. So he's trying to hold up, but he goes all the way around. The umpire calls it a ball. Ray does not appeal to the umpire. It's Willie Mays. Willie Mays says he doesn't swing. Willie Mays didn't swing.
And the great Yogi Berra. I mean, there was a lot of star power Hall of Famers in this game.
There was, having Seaver, Hunter, Reggie, the great Tug McGraw, not a Hall of Famer, but just a great baseball player.
Vallejo's own Tug McGraw.
Pretty famous son, I believe, country singer. He's pretty good.
He's made a little money.
And they're the Mets, right? They'd won in 69. So this wasn't that far apart. This is 4 years later. They're back in the World Series with Yogi Berra, one of the greatest winners of all time. And when I was watching the game, again, now at this point I turned 6 years old, so I'm 6. I'm a lot older. I'm a lot more mature.
Yeah.
The A's win game 1, and they kind of celebrate going off the mound. And I'm like, that's so good. Game 2, after the Mets win and they celebrate, I got so mad that they were celebrating on our field. I'm like, how can they? They're like dancing on our field. My mom's like trying to calm me down. I got so upset that they were happy that they beat the A's.
All right, quickly, one historical note going on right now with the Rays. In 1884, we don't question what the schedule was for the Maroons at the time. Everybody's trying to say, look who they play. To me, it doesn't matter. What they're doing right now is unbelievable.
And the Maroons were in a terrible league. They were in this United Baseball League. They went 20-0. I think their final record was like 94-14 or something crazy for the year. I don't think we should be comparing anybody to the St. Louis Maroons. What the Rays are doing stands on its own. Not the fact that they've won 13 in a row, but they've trailed for all of what now, 8 innings, I think, 8 or 9 innings total during this time. That's amazing. They're doing it with power. They're doing it with pitching. You play who you play. And they're just dominating teams so far. Will it come back? Will they come back to earth? Well, I always think about the Detroit Tigers in 84 going 35-5 and then just, running the table the rest of the way. And Sparky Anderson, the manager, he said that was the hardest year he ever had because the only thing they could do was blow it.
Well, I keep saying this. Everything we do is a game of math. Everything I look at is some type of math equation. It's a race to 100 wins. What they need, 87 games to win 100 now.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like everybody else has got a long way to go. They're just keep knocking them off. They're getting that closer to 100 wins. 100 wins get you in, and maybe 100 whatever get you home field advantage.
I just think it's so impressive the length this organization, the Tampa Bay Rays, has had now. Very similar to the situation the A's find themselves in economically, stadium-wise, and they're done a tremendous job keeping the pipeline going. Keep bringing in players, making some trades that you might not think make sense, and they end up making sense on the back end. What excites me about the A's, and I know this season's not got off to a great start, but what we saw in the spring training about some of the young players who are a year away, those are the type of guys who are impact players that are going to turn this organization back to what the Rays are doing. The A's are going to get back to that pretty quickly, I believe.
Do we have the general? Oh, it's David. We got David squared. Back-to-back Davids. David Forst is joining us next. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. Enjoy it. I know that all these teams were a big part of your youth. Enjoy this.
Thank you.
We're going to have fun.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things.
Every single time we get a chance to talk to either Reggie or Raleigh or Rudy or whoever we talk to, we know it's a treat because you're talking to baseball royalty.
Well, and I appreciate the chance to talk about this too, because without Ray being here, and Ray really was the story keeper, and he kept a lot of these stories alive. And I like to think that by telling his stories and talking more about it, I can help keep the memory alive about those teams. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Beautiful. Coming up next, David Forst, the general manager of your Oakland Athletics, right here on A's Cast Live.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Chevron with Techron has unbeatable engine cleaning power, and it gives you unbeatable mileage for all kinds of unbeatable destinations, like time in the sun at the beach, or time in the sun riding roller coasters, or a day in the sun hiking mountains. Well, probably just one mountain would be enough for a day, but hiking a mountain is still an unbeatable choice for how to spend time. Download the Chevron app now to get unbeatable mileage at locations near you.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through April 23rd, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, Billy, this deck is great for getting everyone together.
Thanks. We're really enjoying the outdoor space, especially on a day like today.
What's the material?
Humboldt Redwood from Ashby Lumber. They gave us a great deal, provided us with a quick quote, and we couldn't be happier. We even found a great contractor through their online contractor directory.
Don't miss a day outdoors. Visit Ashby Lumber in Berkeley or Concord to see our stock of naturally strong, naturally beautiful Humboldt Redwood. Find out more at ashbylumber.com for all your building needs. Ashby Lumber.
Innovation is at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
Streaming from the town, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
It's happy hour here in the Treehouse. It's time for the General Manager Show. David Forst is with us, so we got $10 on $10 beers.
I'm in.
$14 specialty cocktails.
I'm in.
I'll put the credit card down. What do you want?
Let's get through the interview first, and then we can start drinking.
It is on me. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, and just talking with David Feldman, and I always think it's interesting from your guys' perspective when we bring back the greatness of whether it's 72, 73, 74, guys from the late 80s. Just what does that mean for you, and you want your players to – hey, this is what this franchise has done.
Yeah, the history is so important. And first of all, David Feldman, no one knows the history better than he has. He knows more baseball than, everybody who's in this ballpark combined.
You weren't even alive in 73,
no,
right?
I sure
was one. I was joking around, but I'm like, yeah, I didn't know. Those teams.
David's been here the whole time I've been here. He's an incredible resource, so much fun to talk baseball with. So great to have him on. But to see the history, and we, obviously last year we had it with the 2002 team. But when these World Series teams come back, the 72, 73, 74, and our players see, like you said, what it looked like and what this team meant to this community and to the city, it's great. And I heard David say during your interview, not having Ray around anymore is such an important link to those teams. And he was so great about talking about those eras and representing what those eras meant. And Ray's missed for so many reasons, but obviously that's a huge one. But it'll be so much fun to see those guys out on the field Saturday.
I got to be honest with you, all the years doing this, and I've interviewed these guys over the years, but I think as I've gotten older and I know where they are, like last year and this year, I'm really trying to appreciate it because we're not going to have too many of these, and we've lost our beloved Ray Fosse and so many of these players. I mean, so everybody come out on Sunday and honor these players because I don't know how many more times we're going to be able to do this.
No, you're right. And obviously Sal Bando's gone now. We lost Sal. So it's really nice to honor them, remember what they accomplished. And again, how much, that team that hadn't been in this town for that long meant and bringing world championships here.
Now, I know the start, it's hard.
Yeah.
And I know you're not happy about it, right? I mean, you're not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, no, it's been a rough first 2 weeks. I mean, we hit the ground running with a pitching staff that was, sort of put together late and was missing Paul Blackburn and Drew Rucinski to begin with. And the domino effect has been really hard. I mean, those are, for all intents and purposes, our two most experienced guys and our two best strike throwers. And that's what we're hurting right now. We're hurting guys with experience. We're hurting throwing strikes. I think we're, second to last in the game in walks and not striking a lot of guys out. So right now the pitching staff is hurting. They're trying to pick each other up. These guys are young. They're having a hard time getting through games, and the bullpen's getting worked. And I know Kotsay and Emo are trying to do their best to keep guys fresh, but it's snowballed on us in a hurry.
Yeah, walks and hit batters, those things you just can't defend always come back to hurt you. So give us the timeline because I know Rucinski just threw 2 innings down at AAA.
Yeah.
Paul Blackburn has recently thrown. How fast do you think we can get him here?
by the end of the month is our hope. I mean, each guy has at least a couple more starts to make in Vegas. We got, the thing about getting these guys back is you need them with a full complement of pitches when they get here. Just as much as we've worked our bullpen, as much difficulty as we've seen getting starters into the fifth inning and beyond, we need them to have their 100 pitches when they get here. So it's a couple more starts each.
How important is it for you, because you've been doing this for so long, that you can kind of calm down Mark Kotsay? You can kind of calm down the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to say you like mentor them, but there is that relationship where they're in the battle, man. They're on the field, they're grinding,
right,
and they're not sleeping at night. How much do you have to help them through this process?
Look, Kotz and I do that for each other. And the fact that we have such a long history has been really helpful, and the trust that's there. I mean, we talk every night. Sometimes we give each other a little more time after a game than other nights. But it's important to talk. It's important that he knows that he has our support, that the coaching staff knows that. And we talk about the processes and what they're doing before the game, because a lot of the results are out of our control right now, which is too bad. But they know, they know we understand where we're at. They know that we're looking at how hard these guys are working and trying, and that's important. And they keep grinding. I mean, I talked to Kotz every day on that road trip, talked about the coaches getting in early, putting in the early work on the field. Like, these guys are grinding. They're going to grind it out. We just need to see the results turn.
Now, the thing about the Orioles series that you start to notice, especially when you keep score of every single game, is how everybody was contributing.
Mm-hmm.
Every single guy, all 1 through 9, and then all of a sudden you look up, I think it was 44 hits in the series. It was, 24 runs scored. You had to feel better about the Baltimore series offensively.
For sure. I mean, the offense in general has done their part for the most part. We out-hit the Rays one of those games down there, and there have been some real bright spots. Obviously, Rook's day yesterday was great to see. Estes had really good at-bats. Noda fitting in the 2-hole and getting on base. I mean, there are some bright spots. And then outside of those guys, there are some veterans who have the track record you expect they're going to figure it out. Aledmus is going to be better. Jace is going to hit better. Tony's going to get back on track. We'll get Brownie back hopefully in just a couple of weeks. So there are some bright spots on the offense, and you feel good about the 7 runs we put up yesterday, the win on Wednesday there. So I feel good about where the offense is and that it's going to continue to get better.
I love Noda, and every single time he gets on base, I text Cody, what does he do? He gets on base. Going back to Moneyball, he gets on base.
He does. He just has to be who he is. I talked to Ryan about this right before the season. I mean, we took him in that Rule 5 draft because he gets on base, because he's got that sneaky pop. And I told him, just be who you are. You don't have to do anything more. And for him to be comfortable in the 2-hole right now, for Kotz to put him there, know that he's going to set the table for some of those guys, it's big step 2 weeks into his career.
I remember when we talked to you about how you acquired Cole Irvin, and you went through this elaborate, we liked him years ago out of Oregon, and we've been following him. You're like, wow, you've been following this guy forever. And I think it's been brought to us like, hey, Rooker's kind of like Brandon Moss now. And I think Rooker, to me, I'm just going to guess, is a guy that you liked coming out of the SEC. You liked him a lot. Yeah. You've been following him. You've been seeing, he just fits that guy that you've liked for a long time, that you brought in, and boy, he's starting to hit on what you believed in.
Yeah, I mean, to see him have a day like yesterday to break out and show that power. But to answer your question, yeah, I remember what we wrote in some of our amateur reports in 2017 when he was in college, and talking about the power. He was playing first base at the time, and weren't quite sure he was a first baseman, but he was athletic enough to play the outfield. But you remember those things. The guy goes in the comp round. You sort of remember what we thought of him, and then he bounces around. He ends up on waivers a couple times, and you know that hopefully it's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time for him. And I'd love to see him continue this streak he's on.
How much would you say it's a gamble when you bring him in, has a good spring? You made a choice to not have Pache here. How much is that a gamble, and what is that like for the front office, where you go, as of right now, not everything's paying off, that's paying off?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's a little more scientific than a gamble. I mean, obviously in the decision to not have Pache here, that decision's irreversible. We couldn't send him down to the minor leagues. So when you talk about designating a guy and having to trade him, that's something you can't take back. So it's a little more meaningful than other decisions. But Brent earned this. I mean, we claimed him off waivers because of the year he had in AAA last year and because of the potential that was there. He came into spring training and had quality at bats all of March. We talked about it constantly. And when it came down to the decision, what was going to be better for us now and what did we think was going to play over the long haul, he was the guy.
I know you've made some moves. I want to get to that, but I got a soft spot. When you're in this game long enough and you know how hard it is, to stay here and make a living. When I see someone like Carlos Perez do what he has done the last 2 days, I mean, he's 6 for 8, a dinger, 2 RBIs, knowing everything that he's been through, and to see that, it's kind of what makes our game special because you don't see that in other sports.
This guy basically had no spring training. I mean, we signed him. He had spent 1 day with a team in Mexico. I don't think he'd even gotten on the field. I think he just had a physical. So then we bring him to minor league camp, takes a physical there, takes BP the next day, maybe gets in 1 minor league game. We bring him over. I mean, I wish I could do anything as well as he rolls out of bed and hits major league pitching. It's amazing what he's done. He's a total pro, picks up our pitching staff quickly. In a situation that we were in with Manny being out for an extended period of time, he's the perfect guy to find and plug in.
When he hit the home run, when was the last? I had to look. It was like May 18th of 2018. I'm
except
it's amazing.
Except he's hit 30 a year in AAA between then and now. You know that he can hit. But just to come into the situation and be comfortable and play a position like that, it's pretty amazing what he's been able to do.
All right, so we got Hogan Harris. Obviously, he was 2018 draft pick. He was a third rounder, I think he was, third rounder. And you got Tyler Wade, infielder, going to come up. He can play a lot of different positions for you. Aller and Allen go down.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Allen goes down because you want him to play.
100%. Nick needs to play. Yeah, he's 24 years old. He can't be a utility guy right now. And, a little bit like what we talked about Rooker. Kevin Smith had a great spring. Didn't make the team out of camp, but went down and hit a bunch of homers already in the first 10 days there and deserves an opportunity. So he's going to play here. Obviously, Aledmus gets some time at short too, and Nick needs to go play. So our expectation is he plays shortstop every day, gets his legs under him, gets his hits down there, he'll be back. So, I mean, these things are fluid as the year goes along. And with Hogan, that's no secret. We needed more length in the bullpen. And he's started down there. He's got stretched out. Adam used up 80-plus pitches yesterday, and that's just kind of the natural course of the season.
Cal Stevenson, who we had on this program, local kid, was that a tough call?
It was, absolutely. I mean, there's never a good name that sort of comes up in the designated conversation, particularly this time of year when you're going to need the full extent of the 40-man roster. And Cal did nothing wrong. His number's up right now in terms of the positions and how our roster looks.
So Harris, what's the plan?
Harris is in the bullpen. He'll be ready to go, whether it's today, tomorrow, Sunday. Obviously Adrian came in, threw out of the pen yesterday. We need some length. And if Kotsay has to go to the pen early in the game or get some extended innings, Hogan's going to get thrown right in there.
I try and tell people all the time because I did that role.
Yeah.
The long reliever, I try and tell people, don't look at the numbers. You need innings.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to have to be the sacrificial lamb. But here we live in a world where guys prepare once every 5 days. They get to go out on the day of their start. They get the massage. They get to run their poles, play long toss, do all of that, and then they get to start. And if it goes bad, you got a guy who's just sitting there, and you go, well, you didn't get all that. You didn't get the massage.
Yeah.
You didn't get – now we need you to go in and now get us a bunch of innings and be like a starter.
Yeah.
It is such a hard role.
It's difficult. And that's why, to watch what Adrian's done these first 2 weeks, he's pitched great. And to be fair, Adam did a nice job as well in Tampa last weekend. He just used up his allotment yesterday and the pen got burned. But Adrian's come in, he's thrown strikes, he's given us 2 to 3 innings at a time, and he's ready every 2 or 3 days. I mean, that's the other thing. These guys throw extended outings, and you got to turn right around and be ready again, because until we sort of get the starting rotation back, get some of this water out of the boat, we're going to keep going to the bullpen.
That's what's so tough for Emo and Mark Kotsay is like you're sitting there, your starters have thrown 58 innings while your bullpen's thrown 55. It's just that's not the recipe you want.
No, it's not. And we don't, I know it's been written. We don't have a win yet from our starting rotation. Ken pitched great the other night on Wednesday and put us in a position to win, but, didn't get the win. So until we can start getting some 6+ innings
inning outings from our guys and start getting some wins from that rotation, we're going to constantly sort of be in flux.
When you look at the data when building a bullpen, year after year, it's so hard to find consistency.
Yeah.
Nobody has. It's like there's 30 teams and like nobody has, and there's so many guys you switch. How hard is it to build a consistent bullpen?
It's hard. I mean, there are elite guys who are consistent year to year. Those are the closers. Those are the multi-million-dollar guys. Everyone else, it's hard to be consistent because when you're good, when you're pitching when you're pitching well and throwing the ball well, the manager wants you out there and they use you and they use you and they use you. And just the nature of the position, you're going to get burnt out. So it's tough to be consistent out there. That's why, like I said, the guys who are the best, they're getting paid.
We'll let you go on this. Expectations for this homestand. Mets, they're just a game over 500. High expectations there. Cubs are better than people thought too.
For sure. Two tough teams. I mean, the Mets are as high profile as it gets. I think their payroll is about 6x what we are right now. So it's tough. It's tough to go out there and match up. We got 3 good pitchers going against us. I haven't seen Senga in person, but I've seen enough to know we got our hands full tonight. And the Scherzer guy on Sunday's okay too. So, our guys are going to grind. We're going to go out there and play hard and try and get 1 or 2 out of this weekend, try and get 1 or 2 out of the Cubs and try and start winning some series.
I mean, let's just be honest. Everybody in the game looks at how much money the Mets are spending, and everybody just goes, I mean, it's an incredible amount to pay anybody that kind of money just to play a sport. It's incredible.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Wow, unbelievable. But thank you for your time.
All right.
What do you want? It's on me.
Yeah, Blue Moon, I'm in.
Blue Moon for the GM. That's David Forst. What do we got? What do we got next, Cody? Where are we going?
We're supposed to have Kevin Smith come up here. So
anything you want me to ask Kevin Smith?
No, just he needs to keep doing what he's doing.
That's what I told you. We saw him today. I said, I told you in spring you'd be back quick. I told you back.
I told him too.
Appreciate the time. Kevin Smith coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
This is Chris Townsend. There are 2 things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Unbeatable mileage from Chevron with Techron unlocks all kinds of unbeatable trips. Like to family dinner the next town over, or to a family wedding the next town over, or even to a family reunion over the river and through the woods at Grandma's house. Any drive is worth it to see Grandma, especially when you can stop along the way for unbeatable cleaning power from Chevron with Techron. Your engine will be thanking you for making the trip. Download the Chevron app now and find unbeatable mileage near you.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop at Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Hey, Billy, this deck is great for getting everyone together.
Thanks. We're really enjoying the outdoor space, especially on a day like today.
What's the material?
Humboldt Redwood from Ashby Lumber. They gave us a great deal, provided us with a quick quote, and we couldn't be happier. We even found a great contractor through their online contractor directory.
Don't miss a day outdoors. Visit Ashby Lumber in Berkeley or Concord to see our stock of naturally strong, naturally beautiful Humboldt Redwood. Find out more at ashbylumber.com for all your building needs. Ashby Lumber.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And RingCentral's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. RingCentral. Message, video, phone, together.
Spring is here and summer is right around the corner, which means two things: golf and special events. Hi, Vince Cotroneo for Cinnabar Hills Golf Club in San Jose. First, enjoy the best of Bay Area golf with 27 holes of championship caliber play. Then you'll agree it's the best place to play in Silicon Valley. And two, with its award-winning venue, let Cinnabar Hills cater your upcoming special occasion, including weddings. Enjoy all that Cinnabar Hills has to offer: great golf, food, and incredible views of the Bay Area. Learn more at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through April 23rd, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Innovation. It's at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/AceCast. That's athletics.com/AceCast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/AceCast today.
A's fans, there is no better way to stay in touch with the A's and even our players than following us on social media. Just head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social for a full list of our social coverage, from player accounts to Twitter handles and more. Now is the time to stay in touch. Head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social today.
A's fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
And he drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
You know, how much time do we have? Because I've got some unbelievable data for you. Unbelievable data that I've tracked down.
Haven't heard anything from PR but Kevin Smith yet, so we got some time.
I'm busting out the brand new portfolio, Rawlings Heart of the Hide, that Cody big leagued. This is the same leather that gloves are made out of. Got it from Rawlings. I think it's sweet. You called it overrated.
Or it could have been overpriced. I don't know.
It might have been overpriced, but sometimes you got to treat yourself.
Well, sometimes the word over was used.
All right. Are you ready for some data, some really good data? First, let's talk rules. The average 9-inning game is 26 minutes faster than last year. 26 minutes. The previous 4 years, games averaged over 3 hours. Right now, the average is 2:37. The games are, for some of you, you weren't alive. These games are now equaling of what the times were in 1984. I was a kid. That's how fast these games are. We're now playing at the pace of 1984. I don't know how you can tell me it's not working. We're basically eliminating 33 minutes of just dead time. Same amount of innings, same amount of outs, same amount of action. We just eliminated stuff that wasn't happening. Last year, we had 3 9-inning games that went over 4.5 hours. We've had one game this year, go over 3 hours and 15. 3 hours and 15 was all the time. Listen to these times. 9-inning games last year, 4:46. These are 9-inning games, 4 hours and 46 minutes, 4 hours and 45 minutes, and 4 hours and 37 minutes. I mean, are you kidding me? The difference is unbelievable. George Will said this, the legendary writer out of Baltimore. He said, this is all coming at the exact time when baseball truly needed it. Baseball was on the brink, in trouble. This is coming in and saving it. Because as we said a couple days ago on Wednesday, God, I feel like Wednesday was Friday. I've been screwing that up. Wednesday, we told you, ratings overall in baseball up, and the amount of time people watch is up. So not only are more people tuning in, but they're staying for a longer period. It's exactly what the game needed. Now, how about guys struggling? I thought this was interesting. Major League Baseball players and violations with the pitch timer are less in the first 2 weeks than it was last year in the minor leagues first 2 weeks. So our Major League Baseball players have adapted to the new rules and the pitch timer faster than the minor leaguers did. I mean, we got the pros here. They're figuring it out, right? You're going to hear from Mark Canha. He has a strikeout violation. He'll talk about it. But, yeah, they are absolutely adjusting. So the speed of the games, it is working. Games are faster. We're at a pace at 1984. This is what it was like when I was a kid to watch baseball. Because I remember going to baseball games as a kid, and it wasn't 3.5 hours. And we kept harping on that, like, this is not what it used to be. So when the people kept saying, oh, baseball shouldn't have a clock, you're now realizing how much dead time, how much standing around, how much adjusting the gloves, how much pitchers holding the baseball. Juan Soto was a human rain delay, by the way. Juan Soto was averaging like 20 seconds. He was able to step out 20 seconds between pitches to get pitches to Juan Soto. Unbelievable. How about stolen bases? Stolen bases. Guys are successful right now. God, I didn't get to ask David about that. I forgot.
About SD or just overall?
Overall. Guys, stolen bases, 81.3% success rate. That's the highest of all time. Think about that. Base runners are more successful at stealing bases this year than they've ever been before in the history of the game. If you're not taking advantage of this, shame on you. You want to talk about success percentages? Orioles 95%, Arizona 94.4, the Mets who are in town 93.3, and Cleveland at 90.5. Every single time you're stealing, you're safe, basically, with these percentages. How are you not taking advantage of this? And something to really think about, the average primary lead for a base runner on first base, last year the average was 11 feet 5 inches. This year, 11 feet 10 inches. So the average primary lead is a little bit bigger. Now, think about that. We already have bigger bases. So not only are the leads bigger, you've got bigger bases. We're making it even easier for you to steal bases. So, wow. If you're not taking advantage of these new rules, I'll give you another one on the games. Games under 2.5 hours going into today, we've had 54. Same time last year, games 2.5 hours and under had 5. 54 last year, 5. So it's impressive. It really is impressive how much these changes have worked. This is exactly what baseball wanted to see. And they're seeing it with the consumers. That's the other thing, right? You could say we're going to make changes all we want, but if it doesn't change anything, I mean, it's early, small sample size, but if we're already seeing that there's more engagement from consumers, more people want to watch baseball, more people want to be interested in baseball, and also what it will end up doing too, which we haven't had a whole lot time. Kevin Smith's going to join us here. But what it does for primetime games, as primetime games normally start later, well, it's going to be easier for people to stay up later and watch games, as we're putting the headset on Kevin Smith right now. But it's going to make it a lot easier for people to stay up later and watch games. And Kevin, as you've played with the new rules, not only here but in the minor leagues, I was just going over it. We're playing at a pace of where the game was in 1984.
Wow.
Think about how fast that is.
It's for sure faster, yeah.
And what's that like? I mean, so you've played by both set of rules. You've played with no timer. You've played with timer. How do you like it?
I mean, it's nice because you can get home and have some dinner with your family afterwards and see them a lot, right? But getting used to the game flow and just kind of how you would slow the game down, on your own personal level, whether it's a pitcher or hitter, has been different. Just learning how much time you have. You don't want to get in the box too early because then the pitcher can hold the ball for 8 seconds and you're just kind of standing there. You don't want to get in too late because you get balled or striked. So same with the pitchers, though. They're trying to figure it out. They can't really go through their mental process of what pitch they want to throw, reading swings, reading what they're trying to do offensively. So just doing all that stuff, it speeds it all up. And you have, what you used to have 30 seconds to figure out, what the sequence is or what you want to look for next pitch or what the pitcher wants to throw. Now it's like 4 or 5 seconds, and you're relying a lot on catchers and scouting reports. So it'll be interesting to see how it develops and how it kind of comes through the rest of the season.
We told you in spring training you're going to be a big part of this team. I know you're disappointed to not make it. We were all, everybody watching and listening, we were all disappointed you didn't make it. We're happy as heck you're back.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, to get back here with the guys and to get a win in Baltimore and to come back home and hopefully have 2 great series here before we head to Texas. It's time to get the season rolling, and the guys are gelling. The team's in a good spot. We're excited for the future, and we're excited to get going and make this a great season.
Things flipped for you last month of last season, spring training, start of this year. What was the biggest change? Was it mental or was it physical?
Just coming over, getting traded for the first time, having it be your first year in the big leagues. I mean, that first time up and getting used to everything and trying to feel comfortable being with a new team. I've talked to 5 or 10 other guys around the league that did the same thing that I did that are now, all-stars or getting contracts and stuff. And they're like, everyone goes through it. It's kind of like there's maybe 4 or 5 guys a generation that come up and just instantly get it and they click and they're on full cylinder. But for the rest of the guys, it's transition and it's trying to get as comfortable as possible and just work through these periods where you're learning a lot. You're learning a lot about yourself, about the team, about the game. And so the more that you can stay positive and the more that you can just go out there every night and try to learn from, whatever mistakes might happen, whatever losses come with it, those guys take it. And then they say the more that you can just take that and work with it and get better, the better you're going to be in 5-10 years.
When I first interviewed you at spring training last year, I'll never forget this. When you were in Little League, the All-Star team was green and yellow.
Yes.
And these colors, green and gold, have always meant something to you.
Yeah, I mean, when I was, 8 years old, I was on the athletics in Little League. And then, we worked every summer to get on that All-Star team and to go to states. So, put on the green and gold when I was 10 meant something, and it means something now. So it's cool to kind of see it go full circle. I know, everyone back in my hometown, the green and gold has always been 2 big colors. It's just crazy how life works sometimes, and it comes full circle.
I mean, seriously.
It's nuts.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Shortstop, third base. I know you came up a shortstop. You played a lot of third. What do you think you're better at? What are you happier playing?
I mean, I probably have 10,000 more innings at shortstop than I do at third base. So, just naturally and instinct wise and knowing where I'm supposed to be. Shortstop, is a place where I can kind of do it in my sleep and I feel comfortable. And I've done that since I was 8 years old. Learning third base last year in the big leagues. It was fun, man. There's a lot of different plays that you have to make, different routes you have to take the balls, different throws you have to make at third. So that's all fun to learn. But like I said, when you're in the big leagues and you're trying to win, and you're still kind of learning a position, it can be tough. You don't want to be that guy that's in the wrong spot and you're learning stuff as the game's going. You want to be the guy that can make big plays for your team and help pitchers out. So, at short, having, like I said, like 10,000 innings at short and knowing that in my sleep makes me feel more comfortable just being able to make great plays for our pitchers and have their backs when they need to be. But like I said, knowing how to play third, knowing how to play second, practicing that pregame and early work, I feel like that can be a big thing to my game as well.
Let's end on this. I know you couldn't hear me when I was yelling at the television. Just be patient. Just be patient, because I know when you get called up, you want to do too much. You want to prove. You want to prove everything in the first at bat and every at bat.
Yeah.
And it's just not how our game works. How much do you have to say to yourself, okay, I'm back. I don't have to hit a home run every AB. I don't have to impress. Just how can you tell yourself, be patient, man? You're all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the $10 million question right there, is how to do that as quick as possible. Obviously, when you get called up, you're excited. You want to, like you said, you want to show out. You want to show the work you've been putting in. The more you can just stay in your routine and what you do and for how long you can do that, the better you're going to be. I mean, once you start pushing, like you said. But it's tough, man, when the game's on the line and you're up there and you have the opportunity to make the difference, man. You want that more than anything. So way easier said than done. But the best players can put that behind them and stay with their routine and stay with their plan. And I think that's what, I talked to Shea about that. I talked to Ruiz about that. Know that we have so many guys that are in that position, and they all want to come through big for the team. They all want to help us win, which I think is exactly where we want to be. We just have to, be comfortable with trusting our teammates and knowing that everyone on the field is feeling the exact same thing. It's just who can put that behind them and be the most patient and kind of stick with their approach the best. And, those are the teams that win games.
I can tell you what, a lot of people in the post-game show, they were asking, when's he coming back? When's he coming back? That's got to feel good, knowing that the fan base has been watching. They watched how you turned it around last year at the end of the year in Las Vegas. They watched your spring training. Just know that the A's fans, green and gold fans out there, they're happy you're back.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, guys. And on social media and stuff, I'm always getting messages of guys reaching out, and that means the world to players. That's kind of what you do it for. Obviously, you do it for your family, and you want to, make them proud. But at the end of the day, man, you're playing for the fans, and you want to do good, and you want to win games, and you want to win championships. So that's really all you can hope for and what you wish for. And now, it's just our time to go out there and win some games and show them the love back.
Well, we appreciate the time. Welcome to the Treehouse.
Yeah, it's great up here. It's awesome up here.
Well, too bad I can't buy you a drink.
I know.
You got a game to play.
Not the best time.
Yeah,
the best time.
Maybe someday we'll get you up here and we'll get you a few.
Game up here. A little post game action. But,
we got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Chevron with Techron has unbeatable engine cleaning power, and it gives you unbeatable mileage for all kinds of unbeatable destinations, like time in the sun at the beach, or time in the sun riding roller coasters, or a day in the sun hiking mountains. Well, probably just one mountain would be enough for a day, but hiking a mountain is still an unbeatable choice for how to spend time. Download the Chevron app now to get unbeatable mileage at locations near you.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through April 23rd, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, Billy, this deck is great for getting everyone together.
Thanks. We're really enjoying the outdoor space, especially on a day like today.
What's the material?
Humboldt Redwood from Ashby Lumber. They gave us a great deal, provided us with a quick quote, and we couldn't be happier. We even found a great contractor through their online contractor directory.
Don't miss a day outdoors. Visit Ashby Lumber in Berkeley or Concord to see our stock of naturally strong, naturally beautiful Humboldt Redwood. Find out more at ashbylumber.com for all your building needs. Ashby Lumber.
Innovation is at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop at Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
When Northern California businesses need some pop in their lineup, they call the bank rooted in the East Bay, Mechanics Bank. Since 1905, Mechanics Bank has been helping Bay Area and Northern California businesses find success and perform at the top of their game. See how they can make a difference in your business today. Call or stop by your local branch or visit mechanicsbank.com. Mechanics Bank, the official East Bay bank of the Oakland A's. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Spring is here and summer is right around the corner, which means two things: golf and special events. Hi, Vince Cotroneo for Cinnabar Hills Golf Club in San Jose. First, enjoy the best of Bay Area golf with 27 holes of championship caliber play. Then you'll agree it's the best place to play in Silicon Valley. And two, with its award-winning venue, let Cinnabar Hills cater your upcoming special occasion, including weddings. Enjoy all that Cinnabar Hills has to offer: great golf, food, and incredible views of the Bay Area. Learn more at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
Streaming from the town, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
How we doing on time, Commander? We've just had so many people running in and out.
We got plenty of time. We're on until about 5:45. So.
And you know what I love about being in the Treehouse? You know, I used to be in the Treehouse every game.
Yeah.
Every game. We did every pregame show from the Treehouse.
It's a long time ago.
Well, that thing COVID happened, and then that changed everything. And I know I've had a lot of people say, "When are you going to be in the Treehouse?" Well, we did this last year, and they're going to have us back here for these happy hours. $10 beers, $14 for mixed cocktails. I see the menu over there, but
every Friday home game will be up here.
Every Friday. But yeah, right here, you just flip it around. I used to sit right here for every single pregame. We'd be out here, but unfortunately, COVID changed all that, and a lot of things have changed. So we will be here. Come out and see us.
Baby steps. That's why we're here, and then maybe we'll get you back out here.
If you're listening, athletics.com/A'sCast, or watching on Twitter, or watching on YouTube or Facebook, we appreciate it. But come out and see us. I wish we were more out and about like we used to, but our world changed, and still we're like the only team that does this.
This is our second remote broadcast of the week.
You don't get teams or broadcasts that come out amongst the fans.
No.
And then when I was doing it every game, nobody does that.
Yeah, remember we
they'll have studios where they certain teams have like certain areas, and they'll have it roped off, so I guess people can just come up and like kind of watch. But actually, where you're like with us, we're the only people in baseball that do that.
Yeah, remember we did an NBC remote the other day, which we have a few more of those coming up soon, and then we're back here every Friday, and we'll be back on the field Monday when the Cubs are in town.
By the way, speaking of our friends NBC Sports California, the big auction tonight. Make sure you're out there bidding on the auction. Some really, really cool.
Here, I'll full screen the graphic.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I wish we had some of the. I just off the top of my head, you can go with the team to Miami to South Beach.
Yeah. A meet and greet with Ricky Henderson. You can be hit in front of a crowd at the Coliseum.
You can go with the team to South Beach.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I'm telling you, folks, if you've never been to South Beach, it is. It's one of those ways. You need to go to New Orleans once. You need to go to South Beach once. It is a rip-roaring time down at South Beach. I know I had a good time when I was at South Beach.
I haven't gone to Miami yet. I want to.
Miami's legit.
The trip that
but kind of like Vegas, I don't want to stay there. You got to get out.
The trip to Miami, right after that's when the team goes to Pittsburgh, so I'll be joining it. So I'm missing Miami, but I'll be in Pitt. So, yeah, Pittsburgh is nothing like Miami.
I'm telling you, when you're at South Beach, it's like you think of all the movies, all the TV shows, and you're like, it looks just like that.
I'll take your word for it because I haven't got a chance to go.
What people are wearing on South Beach, it isn't a whole heck of a lot. And even in the bars, it's unbelievable. But then also that, you have Fantasy Camp that you can bid on. We'll be at Fantasy Camp again in January. Brody, the great Brody Brazil, may have ruined Fantasy Camp for me.
Yeah, I know Stephanie Gaywood, who joined us the other day, our director of community engagement.
Because you think it's all fun and games, so Brody blows out his hammy in his first at-bat and is still feeling the effects of it.
He had a heroic comeback, though. Let's see if I still have that video. Hold on.
Well, we got to get to Mark Kotsay.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, tomorrow, Jackie Robinson Day, if you come, you can get the Jackie Robinson hat in the Kelly green. It's a pretty sweet hat. The A's logo on the side. You can come and get it tomorrow.
Our friend 15th. Bob Kendrick, who runs the Negro League Museum, and he's been on this program multiple times, saw him on today with our buddy Brian Kenny on MLB Network on MLB Now, talking about Jackie Robinson Day. Always so special. And really, you look at the history of Jackie. Jackie Robinson's very first at-bat grounded out to my grandfather. My grandfather,
Bob Elliott,
little 5'3" against Jackie Robinson, but what he did for this country, because a lot of people don't, and that's one of the reasons why you should go to the Negro League Museum in Kansas City. You learn so much. Is, the military wasn't even integrated yet. I mean, what Jackie Robinson integrating baseball changed just not baseball. It changed our country in so many different ways. That's why he's so much bigger than just a baseball player as a figure. And I wish, and I say this every single year, I think of Larry Doby, who did the exact same thing months later in the American League. Great player, Hall of Famer, manager, Cleveland. We should recognize him more and do more than just Jackie Robinson. But what we do for Jackie obviously is so special. As 42 is retired all around, but learn more about Jackie Robinson, of what he did, not only for baseball. It's almost like baseball is a part, it's not even close to the biggest part of how Jackie Robinson helped change the United States of America and really helped change parts of the globe. It was that big and that influential.
Well said. I was listening to Hembo and Buster talk about it earlier, and it's going to be a special day
they did
tomorrow. On Baseball Tonight, yeah.
Haven't heard the podcast today. Outstanding podcast with our buddy Buster Olney, the great Paul Hembekides. All right, where are we going? Oh, earlier today, Mark Kotsay, family coming into town, had to pick people up from the airport, so he needed to go early. And when I mean early, I mean early. So that means A's Cast Live, we get up early. Here's my conversation earlier today with the manager of the Oakland Athletics. It's time for the Mark Kotsay Show. Time for the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. Go to their website. Get 10% off your entire order when you use the coupon code Oakland, whether you want your bed, bedding, sheets, pillows, you name it. Go to nestbedding.com. Mark Kotsay, I got to think getting home off that plane after the long flight and a long road trip had to be a good night's sleep in your nest bed.
It was definitely, Townie. It was a long trip. It was a grind. We played, the best team in baseball for a 3-game series, and then we went up north and played another really good team in the East as well.
You know, a lot of people at first were wondering, are the Rays really that good? And I think with this 13-0 start, and of course this interview will play throughout the week, so who knows how long the streak will go. One more win will break the modern day record. You got to see those Rays. I mean, this is a fantastic ball club, very athletic, a lot of power, great pitching. So, I mean, losing to the Rays, I mean, this is a legit team.
It is a legit team. I will say, you know how candid and honest I am. I wasn't happy with our performance throughout the weekend, not because we got beat, but I felt there was just a little bit of lack of preparation, lack of energy, and that lies on my shoulders. So I take responsibility for that. But at the end of the series, walking away and then seeing them play against Boston, they are a really balanced team. 1 through 9 in their lineup, their bench, the guys coming in. It's tough to get a matchup against them from a bullpen standpoint because they're very evenly balanced. Last year you could see there was some dysfunction, maybe, if you want to say that. They weren't a tight-knit group, but then they came together and made a run at the end in September, and I think that's continued through this season because it's the same team. Big arms, they pound the strike zone, they've got high velo. Their bullpen's made of different angles, shapes in terms of their pitches. And so they've done a nice job of putting a team together that, has gone out and performed.
Now let's talk about the Alt Series. I know it didn't go completely the way you wanted. The team really fought. Just what did you learn about your team in that 4-game set at Camden Yards?
Yeah, prior to that series, I addressed the issues from Tampa. Made sure that they were aware that if it ever happened again, that there wouldn't be a calmness about my demeanor or my approach to things. And they came out and they, like you said, they played good baseball. That's our focus is to be fundamentally sound, to give our chance to win every night. And I felt we did that in Baltimore. Unfortunately, yesterday, starting pitching, which we've talked about, which we will continue to talk about. When you can't get through 3 innings, it's tough. But to our credit, we battled. We took great at bats. We got back in the game. We gave ourselves a chance to win. And unfortunately, we didn't end up on the right side yesterday.
And talking about lengthening the lineup, I mean, just looking at the scorebook every game, I mean, every guy 1 through 9 was doing something. He had 44 hits in the series, so the offense came alive. And I really want to address 2 guys because one of the things about our game is all the special stories in our game. Let's start with Brent Rooker. I mean, what a series he had. 28 years old, maybe finding himself in the big leagues right now. Talk about your outfielder.
Yeah, so for Rook, we got him from the Twins. We waiver wired him. He had some injury issues there in Minnesota, and the year that he really started out of the gate and was performing at the big league level, got hurt. And so it took him back. Talking to Rocco Baldelli, the skipper of the Twins, he said great things about Rook. We obviously saw his performance in spring training, reason he made the roster. And, given time throughout the short season of 10 games or so, he got his opportunity and really took advantage of it. And, he's taken some great at-bats. Yesterday was fun to watch, 2 home runs, 1 to dead center, 1 to the pull side. Just a great series for Rook and the opportunity he's taken advantage of.
And the other player, it warmed my heart, and I know we talked a lot about it on A's Cast. I got a chance to do TV this week, and I made sure I really highlighted this. Carlos Perez. I mean, hadn't been in the big leagues for years, hit his first home run since 2018. You put him in the lineup the next game, he hits for you again. I mean, you want to talk about a great story, perseverance. My God, Carlos Perez.
Yeah, so Carlos, that was the last sign when Pena got hurt in spring training. We had a young catcher who was 24 years old, and Kyle McCann, and rather than rushing him, we went out and signed a guy that had been with our organization. Like you said, been really successful in the minor leagues, hasn't been in the big leagues in 5 years, and the at bats that he's taking. Right now, getting his opportunity, he's taking full advantage of it. I think he laid 3 hits out there yesterday. So, it was great for us to have him on this club and helping Shea in that aspect as well, a young catcher trying to mentor him. But what a success story to grind through his career and then, like you said, be given this opportunity and taking advantage of it.
In game 3, I think we all just love the way you and your team did everything they could to get the win. We saw 2 bunts in 1 inning, including the safety squeeze. Just talk about the mentality right now. There is no blueprint. Right now, it's about going out and winning any game you can and letting Wallachuk go into the 7th inning, too, and getting over 100 pitches.
Yeah, it's a time for these guys to come together and dig in and find ways to win games. And, that moment in that inning, Diaz really started it with the base hit bunt, first and second, no outs. He bunts to the right side, gets a hit, and it really started from there. So, a veteran player, a championship winning player, is showing the younger guys, that in times that are difficult, let's do things just small and let's do things to win games. And it was great to see. I made a comment that it's not been the tradition of the Oakland Athletics to do those things.
Yeah.
Maybe it has been prior to my time in the league, but we're always thought of as the big power slugging team. So, the hope is that we're in these games. We get this opportunity to play offense. We get these young guys in Ruiz a chance to steal some bases. And hopefully continue to build this identity and this mindset that came out of that game on Wednesday in Baltimore.
Interesting homestand with the Mets coming to town, then the Chicago Cubs, who've gotten off to a better start than people thought. Obviously, we're going to see some of our old friends that are on the Mets, but what do you think of the Mets so far this season? They're just a game over 500 as we start the series.
Yeah, their team, they're powerful. You got Pete Alonso, you got Marte, Mark Canha. The payroll is one thing that jumps out at you, right? When you think about the Mets.
It really jumps out at you. You never played on you played on some expensive teams, but never a team like this.
Yeah, never a team like this. And, they're starting pitching. The pitcher tonight that we're facing, they signed. We don't know a ton about him, but he's 2-0. He's gone into the 6th twice in both starts. So he's got a power arm, split, and a little slider that we're going to have to compete with. And, overall, Scherzer on Sunday. So it'll be a tough series for us. If we continue to play offense and continue to do things we can, looking forward to taking 2 out of 3 from these guys, or, possibility of laying it out there with them.
It's one thing that you did as a player, and they always talk about teams start to take on the personalities of their skipper. Is you came to play, you came to fight every day, no matter what it was, no matter how bad your back was, no matter what was going on, you came to win. How important is that to make sure that that's being instilled into your team, that they fight the way you did?
Yeah, no question. I mean, we're here to win baseball games. This is the major leagues. And I said it last year, we're going to have young players that are going to have peaks and valleys. You'd like to see the linear climb, the slope that is steady and slightly uphill. But in reality, if you've watched enough baseball and you understand what experience does and what the timeline is, it's for young guys, it's a challenge. And it's not only a challenge for these guys to want to prove that they're major league players, but to continue the success. And so our challenge is staying positive through this process and coming to the yard with the attitude that we've got a chance to win every day. And that's my job, and that's my responsibility. And I take that on my shoulders. I'll wear it on my chest, and we'll show up to fight every night.
Great stuff. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Tony. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Is he done? The skipper?
Yeah.
You
that's my bad. I wasn't fully monitoring that.
Well, it's hard when we're here in the Treehouse, let's be honest. It's happy hour, folks. Come out and see us. Great deals here. You'll absolutely love it. Treehouse is one of the best things the A's have done to the Coliseum. I remember when I first walked over, I was doing Warriors at the time for our old station. Season had started, so I was doing pregame for the Warriors. I walked down and up and came in, and they were laying the floor. And I remember going, this is going to be incredible. This place is. I mean, for what this used to be, for just Raider games, the East Side Club, and what they've turned the Treehouse into, I've always thought this is a great place to hang out, have some cocktails, have some beers, watch the game. Doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah. I'm glad we're able to do this up here. Every Friday home game, we're going to be up here. So I'm looking forward to being up here and being amongst the fans and having players come. It was cool that David Forst came over. David Feldman, and
how many times are you going to get a team's GM into a place like this?
Well, when I
I mean, it's very rare.
I mean, I completely forgot that we were up here. So when our boss and the great Vito DeBarlo told me that we're going to be in the Treehouse, I was like, okay. So I was like, we already booked Forst, and I don't know if he's going to want to come up to the tree. I'll see you in the Treehouse.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm going to tell you this. What's different about Mark Kotsay than I think a lot of new managers? See, the fit here with the A's is so right because he's been here and he has the relationship with the front office. And it's just not that he was a player. It's the fact that he was a coach under Melvin and that he's been here, that he is not afraid to get into the players, you know what.
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to get into that a whole heck of a lot. I just want people to know that Mark Kotsay, if things aren't going the way, he understands the situation. We all understand where the A's are, right? You have the highest payroll today against the lowest payroll today. It's ridiculous. It's the economics of it. It's the situation, all stuff that's out of our control. But what can we do?
Control the controllables.
We only can control the controllables. Cody and I are trying to live not only our business life, but our personal lives by control what you can control, right? We're not going to flip out and do the Twitter thing and everybody's going nuts and all that can't control any of that. Can't control the business of baseball, can't control stadium issues. We can't control that. All out of our hands. We can focus on baseball. And when people start thinking, well, okay, what's Mark Kotsay like? I'm just telling you, as a new manager, he is not afraid to get up into his guys' grills. He's very non-Bob Guerin-like. No offense to Bob Guerin, but
I wasn't here for that around then.
Yeah. This is not Bob Guerin. And Mark Kotsay lit into these guys. But he understands what he's got. And what he's going to expect is what he got in Baltimore and what he got against Cleveland. Now, got run over in Tampa, but as we're starting to see, Tampa's pretty darn good.
They're running over everyone.
What's the score right now?
Oh, good
They're
question.
at the Rogers Center. They're taking on Toronto.
They're taking on your Jays.
No, they're my Rays now.
Oh, yeah.
I've adopted the Ray. You know what? I'm bandwagon Ray fan.
You flip-flop more than an NBA player does.
What, Jordan's not my favorite guy anymore? You're not a Bulls fan anymore?
Rays, Jays, where's that? Oh, Blue Jays up 2-1 with guys on first and second in the bottom of the fifth, no out.
Not afraid. Even when they're behind, they come back. I want to see the streak go.
That was Rasmussen's first runs he's allowed all year, too.
I want to see the streak go. I'd like to see him roll off like 20. That'd be great.
It would.
Because guess what? The teams that I really hate, Red Sox are already – so yesterday was 14 games into the season. They're already 8 games back. Eight games.
It's not good. They're getting Chaim Bloom's getting boat raced by his old team.
If the A's would have pulled it out yesterday, Baltimore would have been 7 games back today. Already after 14 games, you're 8 games back. The Yankees are what, 4 back, 5 back?
Yeah, but I have something to say, and I don't ever get on the Mad Dog.
If there's 2 people that I have to defend, that's BK and Mad Dog.
Well, I'm going to say this, and happy birthday to the real Mad Dog, the great Greg Maddox, 57 today.
If I had I don't have a bone to pick with you today, but if I did, I would really bring it up. Because I would just look at my notes, and they say, happy birthday to the Mad Dog, the modern king of efficiency. What are the 2 things that they highlight about one of the greatest pitchers of all time?
I just saw it was his birthday. I didn't read it.
Just take a guess. What do they highlight? Who's your favorite pitcher all time?
Greg Maddox.
Your favorite pitcher is Greg Maddox. What are the highlights they talk about in his career?
Strike thrower.
He's the most efficient, and it means what?
He gets through games fast. And he pitches deep in the games.
35 complete game shutouts.
Yeah, well, I know him as a shutout.
But what's the number one thing they bring up about Greg Maddox?
I don't know. There's so many things that could go. What is it?
Oh, really? You don't know? You really, really don't know the number one thing.
355 wins?
His favorite pitcher of all time, the first thing everybody says, Greg Maddox, winner of 355 games. They don't talk about his strikeouts. They don't talk about his whip. They don't talk about his xFIP. They don't talk about any of that. They talk about how many wins the guy had. Happy birthday to the guy that had 355 career wins, your favorite pitcher.
How many times did he strike out Tony Gwynn?
Not a lot.
I don't think it was any. You know what? He's not my favorite anymore. He couldn't even strike out Tony Gwynn. I mean, it's hard to strike out Tony Gwynn. But anyway, back to Mad Dog quick before we get to Mark Canha. Mad Dog did his power rankings today. And he prefaced it off talking about how teams did last year and all that stuff. And it's
what does that have to do with this year?
Great question. Alana Rizzo brought that up. She goes, well, by your logic.
You're a different person from last year.
It's true. I'm now like almost second year of marriage now.
You're all grown up.
Alana Rizzo said, well, if you're basing on that, then you would have the Phillies in your top 10. He goes, yeah, I know. I left them out, but they should be in. I'm like, they're 4-9. How should they be in? Anyway, Mad Dog had the Rays 4th in his power rankings.
So his power rankings were not this year?
He was like, well, his premise with the Rays is they haven't played anybody, which I'm tired of that. Then he also said, he brought up the point, well, if the playoffs started, they wouldn't be favored against the Astros or the Yankees with Cole and Rodon. Rodon hasn't even pitched in a game yet, and we're saying the Yankees are better than them.
Wait. Astros off to not a good start.
He had the Astros number 1. They're 6-7.
So wait a minute. Astros not off to a good start.
Yankees
got blown out. The Yankees gave up 9 runs in the first inning.
Yep.
They give up back-to-back home runs. You're trying to tell me if the season ended today, the Astros, the way they've started, would be favorites over the Rays, knowing that series and Yankees, both those series, if it was a 7-game set, if it goes 7 games, 4 games are at the trop.
Yeah, nope. He won Astros. He won Astros, Yankees, Braves. I forget who he went 4th. Or 4th was the Rays.
Are you telling me right now Vegas would favor?
He brought up Vegas. He goes, Vegas would favor the Astros and Yankees.
Do I have to go to my gambling guy?
No, because I'm telling you what Mad Dog said.
No, but I could go to my gambling guy. If you're telling me right now, if the season ended right now and the Rays were undefeated and the Astros had started the way they'd started, and yes, no Verlander, by the way.
Yeah, no Verlander, no McCullers Jr.
You're telling me the Astros would be favored? Vegas would actually favor them.
Yeah.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, I don't either. The Rays are 13-0, and I'm tired of hearing Jason Stark brought up the best point about
Can I
this.
speak for Vegas on this program? Can I speak for the bookmakers at William Hill? William Hill is the one.
Yeah. Jason Stark brought this up. He goes, we're not sitting here talking about who did the 1884 St. Louis Maroons play.
I mean, seriously, you're trying to tell me William Hill would have the Yankees favored over the Rays right now if it started today?
I just couldn't believe Mad Dog.
No way.
I couldn't believe Mad Dog. He goes, Judge and Stanton Cole and Rodon. I'm like, dude, Rodon hasn't even pitched yet. He's not even going to pitch till like mid-May.
Well, sometimes you wonder, A's fans, baseball fans, people play to their audiences, right? It's the same thing like politics. People in politics play to whatever political party they want to be attached to, right? So they play their they play to you play to your audience. It's not like we do the same thing. We don't sit here and talk Kansas City Royals all day.
They stink.
We're not sitting here talking about the Marlins or we talk A's baseball and Major League Baseball. We play to our audience. Well, they know at the MLB Network, and when Mad Dog's on, they're playing to a Yankees Northeast audience.
For sure.
They're not playing to us. That's why they don't talk about us.
I was kind of.
They're playing, and their audience is saying, hey, Rays haven't played anybody. Hey, Jeter.
I was kind of turned off.
That's my Yankee fan.
I was kind of turned off by it when Mad Dog qualified, starting to go, yeah, I don't have the Diamondbacks or the Pirates in here. They're 8-5. How are they not in there?
By the way, Raise the Jolly Roger, Cannonball coming, and
Clear the deck.
Clear the deck. What is who hit the home run yesterday, coming around third and did the imaginary sword?
It wasn't G1 Bay. It was.
By the way, they're loved. Bay,
yeah.
Where is he Korean?
Yeah, him and G Mantor are both Korean.
Bay, the Korean center fielder for the Pirates, he's got swag. He's got swagger.
And he's filling in now with Cruz hurt. He's going to be the shortstop.
He made a diving play last night, and then they're dancing in the outfield.
Might have been, was it Castro? Or was
it
Connor Joe then?
I don't remember. All I know
Those
is
are two guys hit home runs.
Guy was coming around third and pulled out the sword.
Yeah,
I went,
it's probably Castro.
These young Pirates got some swagger to them.
You all told me they were going to stink.
They got some swag.
It's because McCutcheon's there.
And this Korean guy, Bay, is diving around, and he's hitting, and he's got swag. He's got the longer hair. Put it this way. Pirates are feeling themselves right now.
As they should.
Yeah, why not?
They're 8-5.
Let the kids play, have fun.
Well, hey, as you would say, why not us?
You know who we can't let play? Your guy Javi Baez.
Yeah, we'll have to get to that. We got to play Mark Canha.
Javi Baez, folks, look it up. AJ Hinch benched him. That contract, oh my God. You talk about you lollygag around the infield, you lollygag. He got benched. You just paid this guy. He claimed he was signing with Detroit for $100. I don't know how much.
He signed for I forget. It's like 140, I think, something like that.
Because he's going to lead the Tigers and show them how to win. And yesterday was benched for lollygagging.
Yeah, not good.
What does that make you?
Not a leader.
A lollygagger.
Yeah.
Bull Durham.
Yeah.
Earlier today, we love us some Mark Canha. Mark Canha is a great guy, terrific Oakland Athletic, local guy, grew up in the South Bay, grew up in the neighborhood that I live in. His parents still live there. Everybody in our neighborhood is always asking about Mark when he played, and he's still loved down there and went to Bellarmine Prep, and then, of course, played in college for David Esker, was a Cal Bear with Marcus Semien, had great success at Cal, loves the Bay Area guy, now playing for the New York Mets, and he's always very kind with his time to stop by and give us a little love on A's Cast Live. Back to A's Cast Live, and one of our favorite things to do is bring on former A's who meant so much while they played here, and obviously this guy right here is one of our all-time favorites on A's Cast Live. Mark Canha's with us here. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
And I always got to ask, with the family, how's the kids, the young kids? How's everything going?
Everything's good, man. We're just enjoying life, enjoying baseball and everything that brings and the fun adventures. And, just having fun with it.
It's crazy how fast it goes and how fast they grow, right?
Yeah. It's when I was here, they were like, little babies playing with Stomper, and now they feel like they're little adults. They're only 5 and 3 years old, but they're great. They love it.
So far this season, you guys are a game over 500. It's early in the season. How do you feel about the club?
We're doing great. We've had some tough matchups early on, and it's been been fun competing. It's just the first couple weeks, you know, it's just fun to get back out there and get back to competing while it counts, you know, instead of spring training. So it's that's what I look forward to the most at the beginning.
And I think about your guys' division, fun division to play in, right? You know, with the Atlanta Braves, you got with Philly, what they were able to do last year and end up going to the World Series. And of course, I mean, here comes the Marlins. They got some young talent. This isn't an easy division.
Yeah, it's very competitive. It's kind of like, you know, there's no easy ones really. Even the Nationals and the Marlins, who are, you know, not the favorites to win the division, but they, like you said, they have a talented group of guys. So maybe not the big names, but guys who baseball players know can really play.
You know, one thing that's coming out really like today as we're getting ready for this weekend of baseball, and this will be what, the 15th day of the season, is all the new data coming out about the new rules. How have the new rules been treating you?
Well, I have one strikeout so far via the pitch clock, so not too bad. Just been punched out once from.
How odd was that?
It was odd. It's odd. There's different, you know, it manifests differently in each stadium a little bit. Some places it feels a little quicker, some places it feels slower. So that's something we're learning too, is as you go to different stadiums, kind of pay attention to like how quickly are they starting the clock and that kind of thing. So it's a mixed bag so far.
And you used to have it to where the at-bat was at your pace a little more than just, here we go, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
What is that like now, adjusting, going from your pace to it's the clock's pace? You have to get in, you have to look at the pitcher within 8 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's a huge difference. The game's completely changed, and you have to adapt or die.
Yeah, because as you said, if you don't get in, they're calling the strike no matter what.
Yeah. So it's go time. There's a lot less thinking, more. You have to be more reactionary and less thoughtful, and just kind of go out there and play on instinct more than doing anything like approach-wise or mentally while you're up in the box. It's got to just be faster.
And I think for someone like yourself, as playing in the outfield, we always remembered you with the ski mask on and like cold games. Early in the season in New York, late in New York, you're going to get cold games. What do you think so far about 26 minutes has been knocked off the game? How do you feel about much quicker games?
I think it's good. I mean, overall, the pitch clock, there's certainly things that we're going to be working through as the season goes on, and things that we're going to be having to get used to. But I think it's good for baseball. You know, nobody likes going to these games with a bunch of pitching changes that take 3.5 hours. That was not really fun for anybody, I think. And I think it's better.
You know, when you think about your guys' club, the way it's built to win this year, what is that like going in through, and you're doing it for the second straight year, where you go through spring training, you're going into a season to where you're a favorite, you're expected to win. What's that like? Because here, you were like the little engine that could.
Yeah.
With the Mets, it's like you're supposed to win and you better win.
Yeah. It's a privilege, honestly. It's you couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, it's more pressure, and that pressure is welcome. That's, as athletes, as competitors, that's what we want, to be the big dog and feel like the big dog. And it's, you know, this is the big leagues. It makes you put your big boy pants on and come to the field and compete. And, you know, you got to fight for your life.
And for all A's fans, they know you're a Bay Area guy. You grew up in the South Bay, went to Feldman Prep, then went to college not too far from here at Cal. And whenever you're here, you got all the family and friends get to watch you. But what does it now mean? You play here every day. What does it now mean to come in as a visiting player, as an established visiting player?
Yeah, I did it last year for the first time, and it's weird. It's a little different, but obviously there's a comfortability for me coming here, being here. It's comfy, you know. I know all the quirks and all the bounces of the stadium, and it's more fun for me to play here for example, than to go somewhere else on the road.
All right, I'm hearing there's a cookbook. Is it out? Is it in the works? What do we got going here?
Well, it's not a cookbook. But yeah, it will be food related work, literary work that I'm in the process of writing. And it'll be, it's going to be a time consuming process that'll take a while to be done. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to make this food thing into something that I can share with people, and this is one way to do that.
Where you'll need to go once it's done. We will
Where it's
sell.
done.
Right here, Ace
Okay.
Cast Live. I guarantee you, we will sell here in the Bay Area. We'll sell a ton of books for you.
That would be great. I would love that.
And what has New York meant for you personally from a standpoint of, or your passion for food, your passion for going out, your passion for entertainment? Pretty much better than anywhere else you can go in the big leagues.
Yeah, it's fun. It's New York is never boring. I love it. I love to do so many different things, like you said, go to Broadway, go to restaurants, really just soak it all in while my time lasts, and savor every minute of it. And New York is a special place, just like the Bay Area is a special place, and that's always been my approach to live life to the fullest where you are and enjoy everything that it has to offer. And that's what I'm doing in New York right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, A's fans still root for you, and you made a mark here when still in the post game people call in and will talk about you. And I think that means a lot. It kind of tells you, you came here as a Rule 5 guy, didn't know, and next you established yourself as one of the better players in the game. It's something you should be very proud of, that back in your hometown and back in your home area, people still thinking about you and they're really rooting for you.
Thank you, Chris. You're making me blush. No, my time here meant so much to me, and the fact that if that is true, then it means a lot to me. So if the fans know that I'm a guy that works hard every day and gives everything I have to this game, and it's nice to be appreciated for that.
One of our all-time favorites on A's Cast, Mark Canha of the Mets, right here on A's Cast Live.
Well, that's going to do it. That was Mark Canha with Townie earlier today. Coming up next is going to be A's Total Access with Johnny Dosco, or with Chris Townsend. Johnny Dosco on play-by-play with Vince Cotroneo today. You'll hear from Mark Canha. You'll hear from Mark Kotsay, Denny Wexelman. But also the A's broadcast auction today. If you want to learn more about it, athletics.com/broadcast auction, presented by NBC Sports California. We want to thank David Feldman, A's General Manager David Forst, Kevin Smith, Mark Kotsay, and Mark Canha for stopping by today on A's Cast Live. Coming up in a few minutes, you'll hear Vince Cotroneo with Stephanie Gaywood, the A's Senior Director of Community Engagement, talking about the broadcast auction, leading into A's Total Access with Chris Townsend. We'll be back on Monday at 4 o'clock right here on A's Cast and A's Cast Live.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Let's cheers to the champions. Join us for the 50th anniversary of the 1973 World Series Championship team with a pregame ceremony on Sunday, April 16th. Celebrate Gene Tennis, Vita Blue, Raleigh Fingers, and many more A's legends.
The next pitch deep to right field. It is going. It is gone. Goodbye. Two-run home run by Reggie Jackson.
Tickets are available at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
This has been a presentation of